Before we get started on today's video, I just want to say a huge thank you to Kevin and Rebecca at Team Smallwood and Mina Remax Real Estate. They were a huge help in getting all this tubing and the clip and the stuff to get going on my new car. Couldn't have done it without them. So next time you're in the market for real estate, if you're in the area around Mina and Polk County, hit them up. I'll leave their info in the description. Thanks, guys. All right, let's get into the video. What's up, YouTubers? Really haven't been able to be very productive this weekend. We got the tubing unloaded in here the other day. The tubing on the trailer, it was only slightly sketchy getting it here. I'll show you. The 1.5 inch came on a 25-foot stick and it sagged enough that it would drag the ground if I put it back here. So I had to run it up above the box. No big deal. All right, we got 5 sticks of 1.75 inch, 3 sticks of 1.5 inch, 2 1.25 inch, and 2 1 inch. We'll see if that's enough. Hopefully it is, or at least close. Thanks to Chris at DNN helping me get this tubing. Really appreciate you ordering that for me. And Andy's been gone at PRI, just shaking hands and kissing babies. So I haven't been able to work on my stub. So I finally got here in the shop today after we had some Christmas activities to do yesterday. I'm just going to do some little odds and ends. I'm going to start with putting together these 3-piece spindles. Note to self, need to make sure I have a 12.716 socket in the trailer. I always like to make sure I have a tool for every part on the car and the trailer, and I try to have no tools that don't fit anything on the car, so it's only things that are useful for the car. And these spindles have 12-point bolts on here, and most of the sockets I have are impact sockets and they're just 6 points, so I need to make sure there's a point that I have a 12 point to fit my spindles. Either that or I need to change the bolts, but these seem like really nice bolts on these Argo spindles. Not a sponsor. Would like to say thank you to Jason King at Kaiser though for helping me find the ball joints and all the accessories that go with these spindles. Really appreciate that. I've never ran the 3-piece spindles before, but we're going to give it a shot. Worst case, I can just go back to regular ones, but these seem like they'd be really nice. You only have to carry one steering arm, it'll fit both sides. One of each and you can have both spindles. All right, there's a couple spindles. Got a right and a left. Looks pretty nice. What do you guys think? You think these pacers are going to work, or do you think I should just stick to the Pintos? I don't know. I want to try something different. What do you guys think? For you guys that don't know, most modifieds are based off of either a 80s model Monte Carlo, a metric car, front frame, or a 67 to 72 Chevelle. Some are even Impalas, and I've even heard of some Ford Crown Victorias. But the rules say you have to use some sort of a stock frame rail from the front of the car at least to the back of the engine. And so there's different things people think works, and most commonly people run a Ford Pinto spindle. They make a 3-piece version of that, and also some people run a stock one. These are an AMC Pacer spindle. And if you're wondering what an AMC pacer is, if you ever watched Wayne's World, you remember that blue car, the Mirthmobile? They're running these spindles on that, so we'll have the Wayne set up.
Party on, Wayne!
Party on, Garth.
It's Wayne's World! Wayne's World! Party time! Excellent!
Next up, let's do a little work to the bender. I want to try to install the hydraulic ram. I think I'm going to have to add some fluid to it because it's going to be mounted on its side instead of vertical. That's what some of the YouTube videos I've watched show. And I'm going to mount it to an engine stand where I can roll it in and out of this tiny shop and get things out of the way. That way, and it'll also make it to where I can rotate vertical or horizontal and bend tubes around here or around here. It's going to be super nice. I'll let you guys follow along. All right, I think I just need to remove this handle and replace it with this, but I'm going to refer to a YouTube video to be sure. That's how I figure everything out. You can be an expert in anything as long as you watch YouTube videos. Probably not my videos, but most things, if you just watch a YouTube video on it, you're now an expert. Let's give it a shot, I guess. Didn't work. Okay, so after reading the instructions, I think I need to purge it from air and add some fluid to it, which I pretty much knew, but I forgot I wanted to try it, so I'm gonna have to get some fluid and I'll be right back. Okay, just got back from Ace, the helpful place, not a sponsor. Got some jack oil. Let's see if we can fill this thing back up and bleed it, make it work.
Two hours later.
If I look flustered, that's because I am. After spending like 2 hours trying to bleed that damn jack. It won't work at all. Determined it's defective. Northern Tools is going to be getting a nasty phone call tomorrow. I'll try to be as nice as I can, but some bitch won't work. Very frustrating. Gonna move on to trying to correct some geometry on some lower A-arms. Now I bought some high quality ones from Dave Hammond, so I'm gonna bet they'd be really close, but they still are stock replacement A-arms, so we're gonna double check them. We're gonna use our hardened rod, stick it through there with the bushings, make sure that it'll slide all the way through freely, then we can tack weld the bushings into them. Dave makes good stuff. Not a sponsor. He makes really good stuff, let me tell you. I buy his stuff because it's nice. Let me take you guys over here and show you this. You can see on these A-arms that Dave puts out, they're machined in here. I believe that's already corrected to make this stuff come out right. If you just buy a cheapo, they're not like that. They're painted all the way through. I believe this should be really, really close already. Try to do this where y'all can see it. I went with the steel lower A-arm bushings for now, the steel on steel. Because I know I'm going to be welding up a car while these are bolted to it, and I don't want to melt anything out. AFCO makes the ones that are UHMW lined, which is super durable plastic, and I'm planning on going with those later on, I think. I've ran these steel ones in the past. There's nothing really wrong with them, but I think the UHMW plastic ones are a little bit more free and they're lighter weight. But I didn't want to be welding on my car and burn out my expensive plastic bushings, so I'm going to use these for this moment. You take this grease fitting out. It's either 5/16 or a quarter. I can never remember. It's a quarter. Take this grease fitting out. Don't lose it. You guys see that? Yeah. These don't fit at all. I have apparently purchased the wrong bushings. At least these were cheap. Can't even make that work. Great night. Actually, it looks like they go on this side. Interesting. I just bought the wrong bushings for part of them, so I'm going to have to get 2 more bushings. So I can't really check them yet, so I guess I'll just call it a day because I'm out of stuff to work on. My hydraulic ram won't work for my tubing bender, and I don't have the right bushings for my lay arms. Sometimes you have that kind of night, so I'm just going to call it a day and go inside and watch TV with my wife. It's never easy making something happen like this. Remember that. Never easy. Sounds easy on paper. It's not that easy. What's up, guys? It's the next day. I got some more parts to work with. Let's get some A-frames put together and checked with our solid rod. Follow along. I got this microphone on today. If it looks a little goofy, I'm sorry, but I think it's going to sound a lot better for you guys. It's just a little bit snug. We're going to take a die grinder and ease around there. I'm not going to take a bunch of material off. I'm just going to clean this hole up a little bit so it'll slide in. So close I can taste it. Ooh, almost. A little bit more. If it doesn't slide in here in a minute, we're going to get a little bit more aggressive. Oh, it's so close. Use a sand and roll. By the way, notice I'm using a die grinder, not a Dremel tool, not to be confused. Girls and your grandpa uses a Dremel tool for woodworking. Men use a die grinder. Big difference. It's like there's just a little bit of misalignment between the inside and the outside hole. We're gonna get cleaned up. There it is. Look at that fitment. Slides right in. That's what you want right there. Okay, I'm gonna go turn the air compressor off so you guys can actually hear me. Both bushings slide in freely, and that's what we want. Slide your inner bushings in. We're gonna be sure we grease these good later, but I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Okay, We're gonna take a hardened piece of rod, slide it through one side, and it should slide through the other side, just like that. See, our rod goes right through here, spins easy. That's why you get the premium lowers. Super nice. You might ask me, why are you running stock lowers? It's an A mod. I don't know, I've always run stock lowers. These work, they're great, they're fine, no problem with them. I'm gonna run these, okay? I hope that's okay with you. All right, let's put together another A-arm. Whenever you're putting these together, you wanna be sure that you aim your grease fitting hole. See, these will rotate. You wanna be able to aim your grease fitting hole down to where you can actually grease it when it's in the car. You can weld them in a spot where you can't grease them, then you realize later that you weld them in the wrong spot. You gotta cut them out and weld them in again. Ask me how I know. You really gotta pay attention to grease fittings. They're like hardly ever the same size. Super annoying. Okay. We got one slider. Ooh, we're even closer than the other one. We'll get it cleaned up. Ooh, it's so close. Ooh, slides in. Let's check this one with our rod. Really nice. Twists easy, fits nice. Very good, very good. First step to a low drag front end right here. Let's get started on trying to mount the tubing bender to an engine stand. So I saw this cool YouTube video, I'll link to it in the comments. There was a guy that mounted his tubing bender to his engine stand. I really liked it because my shop's not big enough to really facilitate having the engine stand or having the tubing bender bolted to the ground, because it's always going to be in the way. So I wanted it to be on wheels, and the easiest way to put it on wheels is to mount it to an engine stand. So that's what we're going to do. The engine stand, the problem with it, I'll show you guys. I don't know if you can tell, but it leans back. It leans back a little bit. And so we're going to need to true that up. And also, there is a little bit of slop in this. So we're going to need to have a way to make that slop go out of it. And also, like I said, the shop is small, so I feel like we're going to maybe have to roll it outside sometimes to get enough room to do some hoops. Like the main hoop is going to end up being a really long piece of tubing. And I want a way to jack up the front, so if I roll it out in my driveway, which isn't level, I can re-level it and all of my angle finder stuff will come out right again. All right, what we're gonna do first, let's get an angle on here, assuming this is level on the floor. It's about an 8.5 degree, sorry, it's about a 4 degree angle back. We're doing compound bends that are bent in two directions. This is gonna have to be level, so we'll just start with cutting this off, cutting that gusset off, and getting it where it leans upright. I got the tool for this. Whenever I think of it, I like to use the face shield when I'm using a cutoff wheel. Because have you ever seen those pictures of the guys where the cutoff wheel comes apart? It doesn't look like any fun. If you have the choice, always get the grinder with the trigger grip. Because the ones that have a switch are like honestly just kind of dangerous. With this, you let it off and it stops. I like leaving the guard on the cutoff wheels because like I said, I'm scared of them. but it gets in the way sometimes. We're broke through, but I'm gonna cut a little bit off where if I lay it down, it'll have enough room to move some. So I'm gonna cut a little bit of a pie out of this thing. Okay, now I'm just gonna cut this loose right here above the weld. All the way across, but I'm gonna leave it on the back to where I can have a little bit of movement, but it won't be totally detached. All right, let's just see how much movement we can get out of this. It should be fairly weak. Okay, we're within about 2 degrees. I'm gonna have to cut a little bit of a pie out of there to get some more movement. All right, we got enough movement now that we can make that square. So I'm gonna have to come up with a good, decent way to hold that over so I can tack it together. First, I'm gonna need to grind off this metal, clean it up to where I can weld again on it and it'd be strong, because you can't really weld through paint. That never works out well. All right, we got that ground back, and should be able to pull that down to where it reads level, tack it, and go from there. Let's put a new tip on my welder. How nice is that? All right. 89.2, 89.3. All right, there's level right there. All right, I got a really shitty tack on there, but we're gonna weld it up. All right, we're still reading 89.8. I'm gonna say that is plenty. Oh, if you just touch it, it moves a little bit. Yeah, we're right there in the ballpark, baby. Still at 89.9, that's pretty good. All right, we're welded up. Let's stick this in here and just see where we're at. We can always make any minor corrections to this later. It's like a 2-degree swing, based 89.4 to 88.7 the other way. But we can tighten that up. What we'll do, I'm not sure what we'll do yet, but we're gonna do it. I'm trying to think what else we can do to this thing right now. Anyway, we got this squared up. Oh, I did have an idea. I'm thinking about, my mind tells me I should probably put another gusset to here. It may not be that necessary, but I'm thinking about putting my extra bending dies on this bottom part. It'll make it heavier, so more stable, and it'll be a good place to store them. Let's see if they'll fit. All right, what do y'all think about that? I'll put some little stobs on there and have die storage, and we'll have our roll around bender. That'll be super nice. How do you guys think I should take up the slack in this? Let me know in the comments. What should I do to keep the play out of this part? The bender is going to be mounted off of here. It'll be able to rotate vertical, horizontal, and a whole deal will roll around. Tell me what you guys think about that. My wife and some other helpers came in the shop to help me out. This is where I'm going to end it today. I've got this scrap material I got out of the scrap bin at work. I need to get one more piece. I'm going to mount these dies right down here on these stobs, and that'll be a great place for those. I think I'm going to go upstairs and watch some television. And catch you guys on the next episode of What's Going On at Busch Performance. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Do you have anything you want to say, baby?
Say bye.
Bye.